All right. So, good morning, all. So, today date 13th. Okay. So, today we'll talk about collections in Java. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So what is meant by collection means in a Java, it's a one framework that provides class and interfaces to store the group of objects like list, set, map, etc. and in a single unit. Or another definition of the collection is represent a group of individual objects into a single unit. We can hold that and we can transfer to one layer to another layer. Otherwise, you can transfer one place to another place, etc. It can be performed all operations such as sorting, inserting, manipulating, deletion, etc. So Java collection, like we can do manipulate on the data. So let me write here first. So Java collection represents a group of individual objects into a single unit. What does that mean? Means suppose let me take one very near to real time example. Let me take net banking. This is okay. This is view statement, right? If you go to the any network, any net banking sector, you have to give some details like maybe start date, end date. Then you have to hit the button submit. Then what will happen? We'll see now. Just a minute. రిమైనింగ్ టూ దూరం నుంచి వస్తారు ఇద్దరు లేడీస్.
ఓకే అక్కడ సామాన్యులు
మణికంతా పర్మిషన్ తీసుకున్నాడు, ఉదయ్ పర్మిషన్ తీసుకున్నాడు. మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ అటు షూర్ షూర్ అండి. ఓకే సార్. ఓకే. Yeah. So today I will give some one example. Net banking. In the net banking, you can see this GUI, nothing but graphic user interface. In that, you have give some inputs, right? Here we have give some inputs in this field. This is and some submit button. Start date, bank statement. After that, end date. End date. Suppose here we have to give some data. What is that? Suppose if I give date like 1,1,2025, one comma is one. And end date, let me write 20. Okay, 9. Okay, so 2020. In the 9th month, first day to 20 days, how many transaction I done? I want to see that one. So you have to go to the net banking. You have to give some inputs like end date and start date. And if you hit this button here, like view, then what will happen here? We have something called database. Simply remember that database, database. Here we have data stored permanently. So in this database, what will contains rows and columns. So okay, 3 enough. So this is a database. So nothing but transition table. So let me check. So in the net banking, we can see the statement. We have to give some inputs. These are all the some inputs. Let me take a brush. These are all the inputs. If you hit, then it will go to the database, and here they will store some data. What are the data means? We can take a class. In that class name is transition, open brace, close brace. In that, let me take variables, private string transition ID. After that, transition ID and private status, whether it is success or failure, and name. Let me take name. These are all the variables. So in this, after that, we have to write, let me write one constructor. Constructor same name as class name. Let me give some parameters. String. Let me take 2 variables as of now. String transition ID. This is one parameter, and string. Let me take name. This is one constructor. After that, encapsulations, getters and setters. So class open, method and class closed here. So this is the thing. Suppose this is the backend. So in the GUI, if you hit the view button, it will request will go to the servlet layer and nothing but backend application layer. But in the place of maybe data case, in the case of it may be database available. Otherwise, third party services in the Java backend application. For that, let me write this thing also. Let me take this one. Okay. Now, this is Java backend application. Nothing but service layer. This is application. Here, let me take one. What can I take? Let me write 2 lines. Reading from the database on inputs communicate database or third party services get the result. Read each row and row convert into a object. Okay, now what we are doing here, suppose here let me write some details which I take here and this, suppose my transition ID is 1003 and that is withdraw and transition date 1,9,2022 and this is transition table. Transition table. Here transition ID. If you do one transition, like it might be withdraw or deposit, we have some ID. After that, it's not fitting, that's why TX I wrote in the short form. TX nothing but transition. Transition name. After that, status. Okay, status, right? Let me remove this one. Otherwise, let me remove this one. Okay. Let me erase this thing. This is TX date. Otherwise, transition status. I will write this one, and now let me remove this one. Let me write here transition success or failure. Let me write success, S. Now, so this is one Java application here. Application means we know it's a application means collection of programs that it is nothing but service layer or otherwise backend application. Inside the method we have suppose if you give some input, it will connect to the service layer and it will interact with the database and it will give respond some data. That row will convert it into object. Here we have to give you have to write some logic, right? You have to give some here logic. In the backend Java we are writing some logic. Suppose let me take one object. This is nothing but Java code. So what is my class name here? Transition. So we have to create object for transition only. Okay. Let me take transition is the class. In this transition reference variable nothing but object equal to new keyword transition. Let me expand this one. Okay. And this one. In this constructor, just a minute. In this we have the constructor, right? In the constructor we have to pass the arguments. In the backend logic I will pass arguments. In this let me pass as transition ID as 1002 comma withdraw. On that ID I did one operation, I did one withdraw. After that at 1, 2022, right? This is transition ID and withdraw name. How many I took? Transition ID, withdraw name. Withdraw name. After that string. And what else? And date. We can write date in the string also. It will take. Right? So understanding. So do mapping. This is one class. I created object for class here in the paint. This is the transition object. In the transition object, where we have to pass the argument for the constructor. In the object only, then it will store. And same second transition in a 20 days, right? 1 to 20 days I did some transition. This is object is transition 2. Then it is also withdraw. Transition ID might be 3. Withdraw. Let me take date, update the date as 4. Like that only. These are all the objects. Now, what will happen? Concentrate here. Suppose one end user will go to the net banking. He will give the details, start date and end date. Right? Here they will give one date. After that, they will hit the button. It will interact with the Java backend application, nothing but one layer. One layer, and it will communicate with the database. In the database, data will store in the form of row and columns. Text name, status. So with this transition ID, it will again recommunicate it with the Java backend application. Then it will give some data, and we have to get that one through again to this one view statement. This process will happen simple. End user will hit the button, it will go to the backend will interact with communication, communicate with the backend will communicate with the database, they will give some data, again the process has been done, it will reflect, it will give the result to the again view statement. So here the point is, in the collection sense, we have the lot of objects. Let me take a different color, this one. How many? This is one object. This is one object, right? Here, if you come to the collection definition, represent a group of all individual objects, right? Here, how many objects we have? tx1 is one object, tx2 is one object. Again, if you do again deposit, then it is became one more object, tx3. Like that, all represent collection means represent a grouping of all individual objects. So here, this is one individual object, tx1. tx2 is one individual object. We are grouping. In this one, we are grouping all individual objects. This is one tx1 object. This is two tx2 object. If you do one more operation, it is became tx3. Again, tx4. Let me write here. This is tx. Let me take different color. You can understand. Transition 1. This is one object, and tx2. This is also one object, and tx3. If you do one more operation, and tx4, and so on, we have lot of objects, right? These are all objects only. These are all objects. We are grouping. We are grouping all individual objects, nothing but tx1, tx2 into a single unit, and hold and transfer to one place to another place, right? This whole thing, this all object we are grouping into one object, hold and transfer to one layer, this service layer to one more layer, nothing but front end. This is the called collections, collection of objects into one layer or another layer, otherwise one class to another class based on the requirement. You can perform all operations such searching all these things based on this only. Understood? Simple, I will tell in the short. One end user will come and he will give the input. If you hit the button, it will interact with the Java backend application, and after that it will communicate with the database. In the database, the data will store in the form of rows and columns. Again, it will give in the form of in the rows that read each row converted into the object. That object, some process has done here in the Java backend code. It will reflect to the front end. Then we can see. So here the main, what I'm trying to make my point here, in this whole diagram, the grouping of all individual objects into a single unit, we can hold and transfer into one place to another place, right? Then we can hold the lot of objects, not only 4, we can hold 1000 objects. Clear? This is the main advantage of collection. So what is meant by framework? So already I told that collection is a one framework. What is meant by framework means it is a predefined structure code, tools and libraries that provides foundation for building for one software application. Suppose take one for general example. If I want to do some dish, If you go to the already exist kitchen, whatever you want to do, you can do and you can come quickly. Same as the framework also already predefined. Some developers developed that one. Whatever you want to do application, you can use that libraries and interfaces, classes for your application, and you can do the application quickly. That is nothing but framework. And use case. It is a faster development. That is one thing. And code reusability. So code reusability, this term we can hear in the interfaces. I mean in inheritance, right? So what is the main purpose of the collection means? The collections have a capability to hold the group of individual objects and transfer into one place to another place. That is the main purpose of the collection. Right? Suppose, and okay, note I will tell after some time. Okay, so why we have the, why this is about need. Up to now I discussed about need of collections. What is the need and what is the main purpose? That is so far I discussed it. What is the need? This is all about need of collection. Now we have already one concept is there, arrays, right? So suppose if you take arrays instead of collections, suppose I will take transition array and reference variable tx equal to new keyword and transition. Here if I give in this let me give 4 only, then what will happen? You can access only 4 transition objects only. Here first you did the use that one transition and second transition and third and fourth, but in the month you can try to do some 20 times, it won't valid in the arrays. In the arrays it is a fixed size, right? It is a limitation, is a fixed size. We cannot define the size or create it. We must, if you define array, then we can't grow and we cannot we cannot reduce and we cannot grow. This is the fixed size. If you take in the place of collection, in the place of collection, if you take the arrays, then it is a fixed size. If you want to do 1000 transition, then it is not a use case. That's why collection is growable nature. Growable nature. So we didn't mention anywhere size like a arrays. This one point. So if you want to do 1000 transition, because of it is a fixed size, right? We cannot increment, we cannot increase, we cannot grow that one, and waste of memory. If suppose if you created array as a 1000, but if you use a 100 transition, how many wasted? 900 waste of memory is there. This is one drawback in the arrays and fixed size and only same data type. So array as a fixed size, that is only created an array. There is no chance increase or decreasing that size based on our requirement. So this is my requirement. I want to do 100 transition. Otherwise, suppose the array size is 10. If I want to do 10 transition, we cannot grow that one. If you do 1000 transition, waste of memory, right? But if you come to the collection, it is a growable nature. They never mentioned any size. Then, and one more formula is there, I will tell in the course of period. So it is one advantage in the collection. It is a growable nature, and array is a fixed size. To overcome that purpose, we have the collection. So collections is a one growable nature. We can add how many elements our requirement. We can delete that also. For that purpose, we have some methods is there. And third point, dynamically collections are growing based on our programming. We can increase or decrease that size. Hence, memory point of view, collection recommended, arrays not recommended. Moreover, arrays are the homogeneous by design, while collections be the heterogeneous and homogeneous. Collection will be hold both student object as well as employee objects. What does that mean? Suppose here this is the one transition object in the collection. In the real time you can understand. So far I discussed about transition object, and if you create student object, then also it will hold. If you create employee object like transition object, it will also hold. If you create any data, if you required, it will also hold. Suppose take one example in the Amazon. In the Amazon, if you hit any shoe, suppose Under Armour. Under Armour is one shoe brand. If you hit that one in the Google Amazon, it will redirect to the database, right? It will give minimum 10 products. It will give the 10 products minimum. It will group that all things result, and it will group all the represent all the products in the one group. It will reflect to the front end. Then it will hold the product details also. In the collection, we can hold student object, we can hold transition object, we can hold employee objects, we can hold data of the one product. All these things we can grouping and we can share to the front end. This is the use case of collection. In the real time, widely they are using collections. And so collections are hold the both student objects as well as the employee objects and XYZ objects also. So, okay, one more thing, we'll go little advanced point. What is the collection framework? Means in the collection framework provides provides an architecture to store the manipulated group of objects. A Java collection framework includes the following. Suppose framework contains interfaces, classes and algorithms. Interface means already we discussed it. Class also we done. So algorithm refers to the methods which are used to perform operations such as searching, sorting and objects that implement collection interfaces. Algorithms are polymatic in nature as the same method. We can take many forms, or you can say perform different implementations of the Java collection interface. Right? And one more question. So why do you think need collection? So now only I explained, right? This is the need of collection. Grouping all individual objects and send it to one layer to another layer. It might be service layer to front end layer. Clear? So some hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy, it will take time. Let me explain tomorrow briefly. Now let me explain. So we know iterable is a one interface, and collection is also one interface. After that, it has three interfaces. One is list, queue and map. List, queue and set. So interface implemented some child classes: array list, linked list, vector. So stack implemented class, vector class. Vector child classes, I would say stack is the child class of vector. And queue, priority, DQ, their implemented class, array queue, linked list. And hash set, linked hash set, sorted set, and tree set. These are all the interfaces and their implement classes. So root, okay, I will discuss this hierarchy tomorrow. And let me talk about some methods generally using. Okay, I will talk about some methods regularly using in the real-time collections, hierarchy, and remaining classes we will discuss tomorrow classes. Some methods in the collection we are adding all objects, right? It may be first transition, second transition object tx2, or object, that means we are adding, let me speak again. In the collection we are adding all objects. It may be first transition object or second transition objects. We are grouping and we are sending into one layer to another layer. So in this method we have to add that objects, right? For that purpose, in this method what is that method name? Public boolean comma add method, and here object obj. So what does this mean? Means object who is the all superclasses, who is the superclasses for all classes? Object, right? Object is the superclass for all classes, right? And we know the polymorphism concept. In the polymorphism concept, by using the parent class reference, object, we can hold the child class object, right? Let me write that also. In poly we can hold the child class object, right? So we know in the polymorphism concept, by using the parent class object, so object is the superclass for all classes, so it is a one parent. If you write demo is a one class. It is a It is direct child class of object. In the inheritance concept, we discussed this thing. So, if you write any class, it is the child class of object. Why? Because of object is the superclass of all classes. This is one point. With the reference parent class reference variable, what is here variable? Obj. With that obj we can hold the child class object also. After that, so this is one method in the collections methods. Widely you are using this one only. One is the add method. In this add method, we can take any object. It might be student object, transition object, right? Any product details and their reference variable. This is the class and this is the reference variable. It will redirect to address. In the address, we can get the data. So let me remove this one. Second thing. So let me write that also. Class which can take parent class as argument. So class which is taking reference type. So what is this line under? Means class which can take the parent class argument. So this is the line. So class is the parent class. So class can take the reference variable as a argument. Right? This is the class and the reference variable. This is we are passing in the method as a argument. Then we can write here object. So what is my object name here? This is array. The paint. In the paint, what is my object name? tx1. We can give here any object that might be tx1 and the reference variable. Otherwise you can give any name. This one not recommended. So how to add this arguments, all these things I will explain at the time of code explanation. Well, up to now just remember this one. It is a class name, object, obj, and suppose I want to add all methods. Suppose I will take like success and failure. Suppose I want to take all the things, which nothing but this one. I want to take just a minute, it's a process. Okay. I want to take all this object. For that purpose, we have the one method called add all. So public boolean add all objects. Here I have to take as a collection. Collection is one interface, reference variable C. And I want to remove that one object from the, we have the grouping, right? Suppose I want to remove the one student object. For that purpose we have the method. What is that? Public boolean remove and collection and C. So this is the method for removing one object. In this we have the five objects. In that I want to remove one object, right? For that purpose we have the method remove, and if I want to remove the all objects, same, remove all, same method, but remove all. I want to remove the multiple object. For that purpose we have the method called remove all. After that, hence collection is a one interface. By using the interface, right, let me write this one. Collection is one interface. So far you just remember this one. Collection is a one. Let me go to the PDF, PPT. So in this hierarchy, collection is one interface. Iterable also one interface. It is a root one. Tomorrow I will discuss about. So far just remember collection is a one interface. By using the interface reference variable, we can hold the implementers class of object. Clear? This one we discussed it in the interface thing. So let me take this one is the 6 point. So by important point here, remember this one, by using reference variable we can hold implementation class object, right? So in the interface concept we know this thing. By using the reference variable we can hold the implement object. What does that mean? Means suppose let me write sim network equal to new keyword Airtel. Here sim is one interface and the network is one reference variable equal to new keyword and implementation class. So here sim equal to one interface and Airtel. Airtel is one implements class, right? So why in the interface all abstract methods only available. So sim in this interface reference variable is network, holds the object of the implementation of class Airtel, right? Let me write that point also. Interface interface reference variable is network. Interface reference variable is network, holds the object of implementation class. What is that class name? Atrel. Right? So the interface reference variable is network. Sim is one interface. We can write interface also in uppercase. So interface reference variable is a nothing but network, holds the object of implementation class of Atrel. With this reference variable we can invoke the methods of Atrel. Right? Let me go to the previous thing. Let me hit interface. What is that? Yeah. See this one. Sim is one. Yeah. Sim is one interface. This is one interface. How it is interface? Because of it doesn't contain any body. Right? See now in this method, send message is one, send SMS is one method name and arguments, string message, long and mobile number, and one more method, dial call. These two are the abstraction method. Right? In the interface, only abstract methods available. Abstract means there is no body. So where we have to implement this body, where we have to implement this method? By creating class. Atrel class implements sim interface. Then we have to override that one. Already one method available in the one super class, right? Otherwise in one class, one method available, we are implementing in our second class. For that purpose, we have to annotate with override. Then we can give some body, nothing but concrete method. In this method we can give the implements. Here written as a string, Atrel your SMS something so and so. If you give the hi, it will store in the message hi. To the mobile number, suppose I gave some dummy number 9s, it will store in the mobile number variable was sent successfully. So main thing is your SMS hi to this so and so mobile number was sent successfully. It will return in the form of string. Whenever you are invoking this method, system.out.println network.send message, if you give the arguments, then it will return on the console, it will print on the console, same as the dial call. So what I am trying to make a point here, sim is one interface, then class is Atrel. You can take any name. There are lot of classes is implementing this sim. It might be Jio, right? It might be Vodafone. They all are implementing this sim. So here, okay, let me write here sim. This is the recommended thing in the industry. Interface reference variable equal to new keyword and class. That is the I wrote point here. Sim reference variable new keyword class. The interface reference variable network is the holds the object of implementation class Atrel. That's why I showed this a slide. We have to create object for what we say for class Atrel like this. Then we have to pass the arguments, we can do the things. So where we are discussing remove and remove all, and sixth one, collection is the one interface. After that interface. Okay, we went little deeper inside the interface. seventh one, if you want to clear the collection after requirement has done, we have to clear this collection. For that purpose, for clear the collection, one method is there. What is that? Public void and clear. This is one method. So suppose your work has done, then we have to clear this thing. For that purpose, we have method clear, public void and clear method. So after that clear, I want to verify that is that collection is empty. Verify the collection is empty. After clear, I want to find out that one. For that purpose, we have method public void clear. Clear is one method. If you give this one, we can find out the with this we can clear that one objects. After that, empty. Oh, sorry, not this one. It's empty, right? Clear already done. Is empty. So after work has done, we have to clear. After that, we have to know that is that collection is empty or not. For that purpose, one object and size. Ninth method is. So what is the size of the collection? What is the size of the collection? Suppose if you add some elements, suppose if you add some 10 elements, it will give some integer value size. It might be 10. So for that we have the one method, predefined method, public, return type is integer, size is a method name. So one more important point here. So I want to retrieve the elements of your objects one after one. Suppose if you added, in this method you added some names, suppose hi, you added, this is the with the reference variable. Let me give reference variable dot, you added hi, again you added hello, like this you added suppose you added 3. I want to iterate, I want to find the size. For that purpose we have the method as size. After that we can add method, add all method, and size and length, all these methods available. After that, iterator. Important, if you want to retrieve the elements or objects one after one. we have one method. So that is public iterator is the return type, iterator is the method name. So this is called in the Java, it is called cursor. So the purpose is here, the purpose of this iterator to retrieve the elements of the objects one after one, and it will print on the console. So these are all the some methods. Generally in the real time they are using. If you want to add, you can use public boolean add method. After that, if you want to add all objects, it might be student object, transition object, product details, add all method, and remove. I don't want, suppose I have 10 objects. In the 10 objects, I want to remove 2 objects. For that purpose, remove. After that, I want to remove all. Nothing but we can remove 10 objects. 10. Then, okay, so this is addition point. Collection is one interface, and regarding that collection, one point. And clear. I want to clear the collection. For that purpose, just public void clear. And after clear, is it empty or not empty? I want to know. For that purpose, is empty method. After that, size. Size you can take after adding also. Suppose you add here 3. If you give here size, it will retrieve some integer value. It might be 3, or generally it will give some integer value. After that, iterator. If you added some elements, after that, if you give some iterator, it will retrieve the all elements or objects one after one. For that purpose, iterator. It is called cursor. Okay. This one methods, by using this already predefined methods, we can perform. Just a minute. Let me go to the. We can perform the operations on the things. Let me go to the slide. Let me. Okay. Collections. We can perform the operation as array list, queue, and set, and map also there. I will explain that also. So 4 things. So remaining things. So classes provided by collection by framework. Array list is one class, linked list is class, vector stack, array queue, priority queue, linked hash set, linked hash set tree, hash table. These are all things we can discuss in future classes. List and their methods. Okay. Add all method, get, remove, set. List and their global formula. Okay. These things we can discuss tomorrow class. So hierarchy and some in classes. Okay, we will discuss tomorrow. So